Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Thursday, June 1st, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. Yesterday's OTA was open to the media, and as always, all eyes were on the quarterbacks. By all accounts, the day was won by the defense and featured a lot of checkdowns and dropped passes, so take that for what it's worth. Afterwards, we heard from some players and coaches. Here are the best parts from those press conferences. Let's start with Brandon Aiyuk. He's not known for being especially chatty, but he did have the line of the day when asked about his expectations for this year.
I'm about to take off. That's it.
He put up over 1,000 yards last year while playing with 3 different starters in the regular season. If Aiyuk gets a rapport with someone all year this year, look out. And to that end, by the way, Brandon also said he and Trey Lance are trying to organize more workouts together between OTAs and training camp. Another player who spoke was edge rusher Drake Jackson, who gave one of the most revealing answers I've ever heard a player give when he was asked about how he maintains flexibility despite gaining around 13 pounds of muscle this offseason.
It was one thing that I would say I changed from my rookie year to now is just being in here all day. I'm starting to fall in love with just, being in here on countless hours, just in the tubs, in the training room, in the Goshki room, in the breathing room, just trying to better myself. And I don't think I was doing that last year. I just wanted to get out, or not want to get out, but I just kind of left after, not really focusing on my body, I would say. So this year, definitely say I'm, just really honing in and, taking the time to focus on myself and my body and what I need to go out there and keep doing it all over and over again.
Keep in mind, this is a player who, quote, lost his power last year, according to Kyle Shanahan. Drake just told you exactly why that happened, and hopefully exactly why it won't happen this season. Finally, I wanted you to hear from offensive line coach and run game coordinator Chris Foerster, who gave another pretty revealing answer about how all of the changes in the coaching staff affected the operation of the team behind the scenes early in the year. And bear with me, it's long, but it's good.
Last year, you're right. We had, even me, I'd been the line coach here before, but I had to move into that run game coordinator, whatever that is. But I had more to do. I had a little bit more to do than I had to do the year before. And then everybody else was brand new in their position. So you're right. It did take a while for Kyle to adjust, because he's had Mike McDaniel forever, and all these guys had been on his staff, and all of a sudden, boom, they're all gone. And it did take some time. And that's not an excuse for how we played in the first part of the season. We could have won all those games, but it would have gone the same way. There was still an adjustment as far as the workflow, who does what for Kyle, who prepares these tapes, because for years they'd been done by certain people, and all of a sudden it changed, and who was going to fill that role. You had Greasy for the first time as a quarterback coach. So this year, I think we kind of know where we're going. And I think with Clint filling in for Bobby, kind of just doing the same thing, I think we've got a real good flow right now. I think when we get to the season, we shouldn't be too far off of where we would from say, like you said, the midpoint of the season, or whenever we kind of started to get our stride as far as how everybody's role was going to fill out. I mean, Brian Fleury and I Brian was a part of the run game early, but then we came to realize just the marriage that he and I could work together, because he sits in more with Kyle for the pass game formations, things like that. So he and I, we created together much more, and he was much more integral part of formationing and motioning and adjusting those types of things. I'm I'm still a line coach at heart in a lot of ways. I mean, yes, schematically how we're going to do things, but I'm looking at what's best for the line, the runner, the angles and things like that, and then they're going to dress it up. And Brian, as the year went on, took on more of that role. I think everybody did. Clay Kubiak created this tape for Kyle on Fridays that was outstanding, and it was probably as good as it's ever been, understanding what we needed to get done. So it's been really cool to watch the guys now. Everybody's worked together and grown in their roles.
Remember, almost the entire offensive coaching staff was either new altogether or in a different role last season. We told you it was going to affect how things ran, and Foerster just admitted that it did. And how could it not? Now, look, I've obviously never been a part of an NFL coaching staff, but I have been a part of a production team for a sports talk show for 15 years. And I can tell you there is an entire process behind the scenes that has to take place every day for the show to operate at its best. And when things are humming, people know their role and they excel at it. If someone was out sick or new, the machine ran, but it simply didn't run as well. There was always an effect. And you go back and watch the 49ers early on. They simply did not look like the team they were late in the season, and I'm not just talking about the quarterback position either. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Thursday, as usual, Grant Cohn emptied his notebook from practice yesterday and gave quite a rundown of everything that took place out there. You can read the story at All 49ers SI. One thing to watch, Deebo Samuel was present for the second week of OTAs and reportedly looked leaner than he did last season. And for a guy that's had trouble starting the year in shape, that is obviously good news and something to keep an eye on going forward. One thing you may have missed, Kyle Shanahan apparently had words with NFLPA player director Dwayne Allen during practice yesterday and kicked him off the field. Now, Mayoko described the exchange as two men having words. Grant Cohn said they were shouting at each other and looked like they might come to blows at one point. John Lynch apparently stepped in after practice resumed, and Mayoko reported that Allen and Shanahan met afterwards to clear the air. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Enjoy your Thursday, everybody. Be sure to check out our brand new website, goldstandardniners.com, for more on these stories and everything else happening in 49ers land. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk tomorrow.